there, welcome to Inkquiring Minds. My name is Doug and I'm back with another fountain pen video. Only today it's all about ink. We're about a week and a half away from Christmas 2025 and I wanted to do something festive. At my last live Inkquiring Minds podcast, member Eric Neal suggested a topic that intrigued me, making my own shimmering inks with metallic powders. I know Eric made the same suggestion to Doodlebud, which resulted in a very interesting video. So I guess that makes Eric an influencer. I've never done anything like this before, but I immediately ordered a set of metallic powders on Amazon. There are two different reasons for doing this experiment. First, to make some shimmery festive inks for the holiday season for writing cards or creating festive decorations. Second, to recreate some shimmering inks that are in limited supply. The Diamine holiday inks from the annual advent calendar and the Pelican inks of the year are typically limited editions, but if you don't buy right away, they're gone forever. And there are other inks that become discontinued by various ink makers, so finding a substitute is necessary. But today what I want to try to do is replicate 6 inks. Some are inks that are limited or discontinued, and just one is a new creation of mine. I filmed the entire process of mixing up these 6 festive inks, and like most things, the more practice I got, the better the result. I'm going to time-lapse through the creation of each ink and talk about the process I used in a voiceover. So here we go. So the tools I'm using here are sample ink vials, which I've placed in my 9-vial sample holder, and a single sample holder for stability, a spring-loaded syringe, my glass dip pen, a sable watercolor brush, and a dental tool I use to scoop out tiny amounts of powder. And this paper is Tomoe River. Once I've created all 6, I'll go through and do a sample of each one beside the original. But let's go through the inks one by one. The first of the 6 shimmering inks I'm going to create will be a recreation of Herbin Shogun, which is a deep charcoal black with a copper shimmer. I'll syringe up 2 milliliters of Iroshizuku Takasumi into an ink sample vial, place it in my Ink Buddy stabilizer, and then add some copper metallic powder. I give the vial a good shake, and then use my glass dip pen to do a writing sample. Then I use my sable watercolor brush to spread out a smear of ink and let it dry on my Tomoe River paper. This takes quite some time to dry, but that's how you get the best shimmer. The next ink I'm recreating is Diamine Yule Log, which is a chocolate brown with a copper shimmer. To make it, I'm going to use Graf von Faber-Castell, hazelnut brown, and copper powder. I'd heard that using a tiny amount of Venice White Lightning would help the shimmering ink flow better, but we'll see. I added the copper powder, then the hazelnut brown, and shook it up. Doing the writing sample showed me that adding white lightning was a bad idea, as it spread and feathered all over the place. I added more copper as the first smear wasn't shimmery enough for me. The next ink is one of my very favorite shimmering inks, Herbin Kyanite du Nepal. It's a bright azure blue with a silver shimmer. I'm using my favorite azure blue ink, Iroshizuku Konpeki, as the base. Mix in the powder and shake. This one came out beautifully. It's a little darker than the original, but I like it and probably make more. Then I decided I better start labeling all of my vials. Next up is another Herbin shimmering ink, Rouge Hematite. It's a bright red with a rose gold shimmer. I'm using rustic gold powder and Herbin Rouge Caroubier as the base. Shake the ink and powder together, and this one came out very sparkly and bright. It's a lot brighter than the original, as the Rouge Caroubier is a much lighter red, almost a pink. Herbin Emerald of Chivor is one of the most popular shimmering inks. It's a bright emerald green with a bright pink sheen and a gold shimmer. I'm using Iroshizuku Suigyoku as the base with a gold powder. Shake it up, and this one turned out very nice indeed. It doesn't have a pink sheen of the original, and the green isn't as deep and saturated as the Emerald of Chivor, but it's a lovely bright green with lots of gold flash. Now the last one I'm just inventing. I don't have a deep purple shimmering ink to emulate, so I decided to use Diamine Bilberry to create one. I'm adding silver powder to this bright purple ink to make what I'm calling Slurple Purple. I like it. So let's take a look at what we've got here. My new festive inks. I know black isn't very festive. It doesn't seem like it's very festive, but I think there's something classy about black with a gold shimmer. And I'm also noticing that the shimmer on these new inks from these powders is a lot finer than the shimmer that you find inside actual shimmering inks, like Shogun. So it's almost a shine rather than a glitter. But when you're right with it, I'm really pleased with the way that Iroshizuku Takasumi is now shimmering with gold. Let's take a look at the Yule Log. This is one of those inks that was discontinued after, I think it was 2021 or 2022, the Inkvent calendar from Diamine. And I bought a bottle of it because the little sample wasn't going to do it for me. This was also a botched experiment with using white lightning on these inks. I was rather timid about putting some of the shimmer into these inks and used tiny amounts, and when I spread it out with the brush, I found there was very little at all. So I went back in and added some more, and it's a lot better. It's not quite as spectacular as the Yule Log, so I might have to keep trying with this one. This one I was very pleased with because it's two of my favorite inks together. Kyanite du Nepal is my very favorite shimmering ink, and Konpeki is my very favorite blue ink. I've been through bottles and bottles of this Konpeki, but now I've got an Iroshizuku Konpeki with silver in it that just looks wonderful, and it's got all that sheen of the Konpeki as well. So I'm very pleased with that one. That one's a success. Flipping over to the red, look at how that recreated Rouge Caroubier looks under the shimmer. Just lovely. That one came out very nicely, and it's a lot brighter than the original. Emerald of Chivor, of course, is probably the most popular shimmering ink out there. And this Suigyoku, however you pronounce that, and gold, is very similar to it. Now, I should say I'm only using inks that I've got on hand. I'm not trying to actually perfectly emulate these inks. I'm just getting inks that I've got that are close. And I haven't got a shimmering purple, so creating my own Diamine Bilberry Silver or Slurple Purple was a lot of fun. Look at that. It looks beautiful. Now, I went and did a comparison of each one of the inks with the original. So there's the Diamine Shogun on top and the Takasumi Copper on the bottom. In regular writing, you can almost see the shimmer on the recreation, but it's much more prominent on the Shogun. The Diamine Yule Log, the same way. The Diamine has a lot of shimmer to it. And of course, my hazelnut copper suffered from the white lightning. So I'm going to recreate that without any white lightning in it, I think, because this is one of my favorite inks. Here was the real success of this experiment. The Kyanite du Nepal on the top and the Konpeki silver on the bottom. The Rouge Hematite recreation, Rustic Rouge, is a lot brighter. This is a deeper red, almost a blood red, whereas the Rustic Rouge is almost a pink, but it has that same rose gold kind of shimmer to it. Emerald of Chivor and Gyoko of Chivor. Of course, the Gyoko is a lot lighter and without any of the dramatic sheen that you get out of that Emerald of Chivor. And the favorite of my own creation, because it's the only one of my own that I created out of nothing, the Diamine Bilberry on the top has a dramatic sheen to it. Almost looks like it's shimmering right there, but it's not. That's a sheen. And my Slurple Purple gets the silver shimmer to it in addition to that beautiful sheen. And let me know in the comments below which festive inks you would like to create for yourself for this holiday season, or those you've already created. Let's hear some of those combinations. This project was a lot of fun, so thanks Eric for the idea. And there you have it. If you like this video, please like and subscribe, and don't forget to ring that bell to get instant notifications whenever a new video is posted. And you can join as a member of my channel for only 99 cents a month. I guarantee I'll answer your comments in the comment section, and you'll get cool emojis, badges, sneak peek unboxing videos, as well as instant access to my videos the moment I post them. And that just leaves it for me to say, with my favorite shimmering ink, thank you. For watching. And that's all she wrote.
I made this.